All right. Is everybody ready?
I guess.
Yes. We're going to ask you some questions. Christina can fill in if she comes up with a great one or a follow-up question. So I'm just going to jump right into the first question. Okay. So what do you wish you had known about Distancify before joining the team?
That's a good question. I mean, I was kind of forced to join. I'm here before the Distancify era. There was a collaboration between Stay Hard and the company I worked with back then. And the head of development just came in. You will start working with some Swedes, and that was it. But I don't think I needed to know anything. It felt like a smooth transition to the Swedish way of work, the Swedish team way of work.
Right. Was there anything that surprised you?
Yeah, the fact that you do code reviews, that you have quality control. I mean, felt like the real way of doing programming.
All right. What about you, Oscar?
Yeah, to the first question, I don't feel like there was something that I had to know or that I was missing out in terms of information before I joined. But to the second question about what surprised me, I have a better answer to that one, because what surprised me was that not only did you guys state that you were trying to be cutting edge and stuff, but you were actually living up to it. That surprised me, because me seeing every company basically claiming that, oh, we are working with the top elite programs and all the latest software, blah, blah, blah. And then you come in and it's like, yeah, we're hosting this and this is WinForms. And you're like, wait, isn't that what Grandpa told stories about?
They sell you on their vision, not their reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But here they're kind of closely together. So
yeah. All right. So my name is Christopher, and you guys are.
I'm Levente. Actually, it's easier to call me Levi.
Right. And you are?
I'm Oscar. And I am the latest developer edition, we could say. I'm the 1 year old in this company.
Yeah. And to my right here, we have
Christina.
And we are here to talk about you guys. We started out by asking you if there was something you wanted to know. But can you tell me a little bit about what you did before you started?
I worked in a software company that mainly produces software for the public sector. I joined that company after I finished high school. I wasn't even enrolled in a university, got cherry-picked. And we used Fox Pro, Visual Fox Pro, that ancient thing. Then we transitioned to web development, mainly PHP. And I had some .NET background. Probably that's why I got picked to be thrown in the mouth of the lion.
I remember the idea was that you were just going to be joining us for a little while, as I remember it. And then...
Oh, it was not actually a little while. It was like not full-time, like 4 hours a day.
Right.
Because I was still a senior developer back there. And somehow they forgot about this. And I started doing full-time for Stay Hard back then.
Yeah. Yeah, because we worked together before Distancify, basically.
Yes.
When me and Johan, the other founder of Distancify, were both working at a Swedish e-commerce site, basically. Now, Oscar, what did you do?
So I graduated from the university the same year that I started working here. So I was a university student studying web development, and I also part-time worked at the university helping to build their website. But I didn't really have much work experience in the field, more like a summer job at school. So I just came from a more theoretical background, boom, straight into the action.
Yeah.
Christopher, what did you like about Oscar?
Why you got the job?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we hired Oscar on potential rather than experience, because you didn't really have any experience. But we saw that this is a guy who's sharp. Like, you seem to pick up new things quite fast. We know you were among the top of your class, and we hoped that you would be the kind of person who would also get things done. I think those were the main criterias. But then he just had this wonderful personality as well.
True.
So, yeah, you're just a great addition to the culture, a great culture fit. So yeah, those were the main aspects.
I'm still surprised he's so funny. I tell him every day, like, oh my God, you're so funny.
Yeah.
Usually people don't comment that, they just laugh. But you're the first one who's actually been saying that to me, like, you're so funny.
Okay.
And I like it. It's a good compliment, I think, that you don't get a lot.
I mean, we all secretly know you're funny, but we just don't want to make you feel good.
Know.
Yeah.
You keep me down on earth. Yeah. It's good.
All right. I actually have one question for you each. Or do you have anything else, Christina, right now?
Not now.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Levi, we've been working for like, what is it? 7 years, 8 years, maybe?
Probably like that.
Yeah. Have your role changed since then? Since then when you started?
That's pretty hard to answer. I don't know. I've been evolving, but it feels like I'm the same bashes head first into the wall guy I was at my former job before joining Distancify.
Yeah.
And I've grown with you guys, but I feel like I'm the same stubborn developer that I was before.
Yeah.
So basically, I just gained experience, but my personality didn't seem to have evolved.
Okay. But you've been, especially for the guys who came in after you in Romania, been sort of a mentor, the way I see it at least.
Yes. I mean, we had a couple of new guys coming in, and I'm trying to be a mentor for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm succeeding, but we will see that.
Most of them are still here. Or, well, actually not most of them, but no, the people who joined Distancify are still here.
Oh, yeah.
And Christina, you're also new, so we'll see you.
Yeah.
That was what I was meaning. Like, we'll have to see with Christina if she runs away or not.
All right.
I have hope for you.
Yeah. Hope is not lost yet. All right. So Oscar, you been here for a year now.
Yep.
And you've probably learned a lot since then.
Oh yeah.
But when you started, did you feel like you had someone to talk to who helped you out? Like, did you feel like you got the support you needed?
Yeah. I remember when I started, you were kind of low on work at that exact period because I think it was vacation period.
It was in the middle of summer.
Yeah, so I skipped my own vacation so we could have like a slower pace, you and me, to do a lot of work together. And I think that was good because I have a feeling that if I had joined when I was intended to join in the first plan, I would have come in when we got like support all day long, and it would just be me and Vlad in Fresh Desk all day, and I wouldn't even understand what we are doing in the real job, you know. But I think in hindsight, it would have been nice if Lindblom was more available if there wasn't this COVID situation, because he has a great knowledge of front end, which is where I'm most proficient, but where I also like to learn the most. But of course, it's good to have the knowledge of all parts of the system, so I don't feel like I was missing out. And there's still time now to learn all that stuff. The learning never stops. So, I think it was good. The learning, if you were not available, I at least had Vlad, or if Vlad was not available, I could talk to someone outside of the office like Levi. I got help from him as well, especially when it comes to stuff working with GraphQL, more like C# questions.
And I abused him on the front end because I need to shake up a bit my front end skills.
And also you're colorblind, so
I'm also colorblind, so probably that doesn't help me.
Yeah, you realize it took us like 6 years to actually understand that he was colorblind.
So you only found
we thought he was joking.
This year or what?
They didn't take me as being serious when I said I'm colorblind.
So then we realized,
but it's something that people say. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm colorblind.
Like trying to get out of jobs that involve front ends. Like, I'm colorblind. That's an excuse.
Yeah.
They were like, "Yeah, that's an excuse."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Where's all the shadows?" And you're like, "What shadow?"
I don't see any
It's all
shadows.
gray.
Oscar, do you see any shadows in this mockup? I don't see any shadows.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to mention that I also started the same while you guys were in vacation.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we should
Yeah, you did.
have it as a strategy when to hire people.
Yeah.
Somebody has to
because-
stay to teach.
Yeah, it was very good for me those 3 weeks to learn more about you, about the culture, about how you work. And once you were back at the office, I had a list with questions for almost every person.
Yeah.
So I learned faster.
It's true,
So-
but I mean, Sweden as a country, most of our clients are in Sweden anyway, basically shut down during 5 weeks every
Yeah.
summer. Well, this year was probably the first year I ever had vacation since starting the company,
Mm.
but those weeks are a great time to do some reflective work and catch up on things that you never get around to anyway. But I can imagine it's also a great time to start, because those who are working during those weeks have time to
Yeah.
to set
Yeah.
aside.
I'd like
Definitely.
to bounce the question to you as well, or a follow-up question to you, Christopher, because now recently when Christina and Stefan joined, I was kind of a mentor to Stefan in terms of the support and how we work with tickets, and of course
Yeah.
to you too, Christina.
Exactly.
And I remember spending a lot of time outside of work just thinking about how am I going to present this, or how am I going to explain this to them? How would somebody without the backlog or the prior experience understand this issue?
Yeah.
And I was just going to ask you, Christopher, how or did you have those moments too when I joined where you felt like, okay, how am I going to explain this system to him?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been doing that now for a while. I mean, I even remember when Levi started, or the guy, you were like 3 or 4 people starting at once. Yeah, and we also started out having, we met in Sweden. We had a lot of workshops. We went through all kinds of things. I usually make like an outline of the basic concepts.
The day before or just right
Yeah,
before
or
it's
like-
showtime?
You know, there are these tasks that you can't really force, and this is one of those kind of tasks where I sort of put this at the back of my mind, maybe a week or 2 weeks before, and then as I'm at home cooking, for example, one day, I'm like, "Ooh, I need to tell Oscar this," you know.
Right.
It's one of those, and I make this long list of just like bullet points, and then I try to make it into some sort of structure, and then I just freestyle from there.
Yeah.
So I think that works well when you're trying to teach specific people. Like there are 2 types of presentations you can make. Sometimes you present something to a large audience that requires a lot of thought and a lot of practice
Right.
to
Like a
really
real presentation.
make sure everybody's on the train, basically.
Mm.
But when you're dealing with a 1 or 2 individuals, you can tailor it so well in real time to those people. So you mostly just need an outline, and then you can just take it from there. So that's how I work. It's
No,
almost
no,
like
okay.
you did it too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But with support, it was a bit tricky because you never knew what was going to show up
Yeah.
on the board, like what was going to be the new ticket, new topic of the day to explain, right?
I'd say one mistake that I often do is, or it's really easy to do when you're trying to teach someone
Yeah.
about something, is that you don't realize that it takes a lot more effort to take in new information than to share that information.
Yes.
So it's very easy to sort of like drain people, or like
Yeah.
Like
or even
overdo.
drown them in information.
Yes.
So you need to probably take more breaks than you feel like you need, because I can be talking for 6 hours straight about some topic,
because it's all clear to you.
exactly. But for someone to listen to that, after 40 minutes they're probably
Yeah. Okay.
falling asleep.
And it's so easy to lose someone as well. If you're
Yeah.
explaining a process
Yeah.
and then there's one word in there
Yeah.
that they don't understand,
Yeah.
and you keep using it and referencing it, and they're like, I don't know what he's meaning right now.
Yeah. But there's some responsibility also on the people who are getting taught.
Yeah.
That it's important that you raise your voice or
Yep.
your concern or your questions when that happens, because it's kind of could be hard to read.
Yeah, and some don't want to interrupt the person explaining.
One technique that I've used a lot with myself, you know, as I'm trying to learn things, is always trying to sort of paraphrase what I've just heard. So if you're trying to explain something to me, I will tell it back to you with my own words and see if you agree with what I just said, because that probably means that I understood it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't, then that becomes very obvious and we can fix that problem. So that's just a little tactic that I apply to make sure I understand it fully.
And I borrowed that stuff from you and kept applying it on you until you said that's what you do.
Yeah.
Probably you got pissed because I was repeating everything you said in a different way.
No, but it's a great technique that use.
I've been there too, playing on his nerves, repeating the same questions week after week. Yeah.
What are you doing to them?
I don't know.
The distance is too large between us. His brain is way over there, knowing too much.
Sometimes we have to go back in Oscar's notebook to what he has already written.
Yeah, so now like, right, knowledge.
We have talked about this, Oscar.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys, for joining in.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Survive.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.